Hi, and welcome to the Room for Manoeuvre Style Guide. This document contains a detailed evaluation of all the elements of our brand. It should be used to familiarise yourself with our branding and what we are trying to do as a company. We want this to inspire new audiences and lead to a greater understanding of our brand. So the topics that are going to be covered are vision, mission, colour schemes, limitations of those colour schemes, target audience, slogan, logo, and finally typography. Room for Manoeuvre is a London-based music company that operates on few but heavily fortified principles, operating in the business of artist representation boosted through powerful visual content with a relentlessly sustainable approach. So, at our core, we encapsulate a record label, a production company, and an environmental rights advocate. This brand book will set out our campaign for cultural change and creative inspiration, challenging new audiences to think in different ways. So, our mission is one of the most important parts of our branding. Our image represents an unyielding commitment to creativity, musicality, and sustainability. So we really want the why element of our brand to speak to our audience. We believe when companies do this, it really speaks to the hearts and minds of the audience and creates a bond with them that is unmatched. So Harley-Davidson are one of the companies that do this really well. So we can see from this advert, the tagline is, "No, I've decided to opt for a small and rather uneventful life." And then right next to it is a Harley-Davidson bike. So they are both discouraging an uneventful life and also presenting fans with an alternative to this, the Harley-Davidson life, which is a lot more exciting. Similarly, with the North Face, they're a company that presents why they're doing what they're doing at the heart of their branding. They are incredibly passionate about exploration and the outdoors, and they rarely ever advertise what they're selling in their adverts. Rather, it's something like this, where it's just the tagline saying, "Never stop exploring." So this presents them as someone that is equally as passionate as their customers about exploration. They just happen to make everything that you need for exploration. So customers are automatically going to go to them because of this bond. So for our company, the why element is our commitment to sustainability and environmental rights. We really feel this is something customers can get behind, and it attaches some more meaning behind the products that we sell. So the how element is simply recording. We have a studio that we record all of our live sets in, and we always use the same studio, so it gives us a kind of consistent branding for our visual content. The what element is simply albums, EPs, live streams, live sets, collaborations, interviews, Q&As, and even live events as well. So in terms of colour schemes, we've picked out two colours that represent our values and messages really accurately. So this particular shade of green represents nature, luck, safety, creativity, and envy. So I think green is a really powerful colour for companies, and especially for us because of our links to the environment, but also because of its links to creativity. That is a massive part of our branding, and we only sign artists that have incredible creativity and a real vision for their art. So this particular shade of brown represents nature, strength, security, dependability, and isolation. So of course the nature part of this colour is really important to us because of our environmental sustainability, but I also think that the isolation element of this colour is really interesting. Now, of course, isolation usually has bad connotations, but I really want it to represent us being unique and performing in a market of our own. So, although the subliminal messages in colour are incredibly important, I think it's even more important to establish the cultural and regional differences of interpreting colour. So we can see from this graph that colour interpretation varies dramatically from region to region and from different cultures. For example, the colour orange in Far Eastern cultures represents happiness, spirituality, and adaptability. Whereas in Middle Eastern culture, it's representative of mourning and loss. However, there is consistency in what green is symbolic of. So we can see that right through all of these cultures, the colour greens links to the environment, nature, harvest, and strength run consistently throughout. This makes it a great colour to choose when establishing a brand for international reach, where you're going to be reaching out to people of all faiths, all cultures, and all locations. So in terms of our target market, we're looking at men, women, and non-binary, aged 18 to 27, the LGBTQ plus and environmental awareness advocate, the UAL graduate, English speaking, on around 20,000 per year, and attending the following festivals: Green Man, Wide Awake, and End of the Road. So it's important that our target audience is inclusive of all genders, as it reflects our forward-thinking ethos, as well as mirroring London's diverse communities. Our branding strikes a balance between being inclusive of all identities whilst being clear and precise about the particular groups we are aiming to please. So this is how the logo started out. It's just a really simple sketch of what I had in mind. We then sent this to a professional illustrator, and he came back with these 4 designs, all far better drawn than I could have done. So design 1 was great, but I felt that the logo needed to be plain and simple with no additional colours. 2 and 3 were great, but I really felt that design 4 captured us the best, so that's what we decided on. So the house is representing us as a company with these 3 paths coming out of it. That's representing our multifaceted ethos as a record label, production company, and an environmental rights advocate. The paths also demonstrate our ability to pivot and manoeuvre in order to stay relevant. What I really like about this design is the logo kind of mirrors a club with what I've called lively energy coming out of it. Signing artists who know something the rest of us don't. So I like this slogan because it makes fans wonder what our artists know and they don't. I think this makes fans want to know how this affects the music they make. It also gives our artists a reputation for making groundbreaking music. So when looking for a font, we wanted it to be fun and creative, but also strong and clear. Lazy Dog definitely filled the fun, creative criteria, whilst a grandeur was clear and simple. Ananias strikes a balance between the playfulness of Lazy Dog and the clarity of a grandeur. This represents the relationship between our strong business ethic and our commitment to representing creativity and innovation.